All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine. Music Exclusive is my outlet. And I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to interview you guys. And I want to say congratulations on your coming up on your series and show tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, 21st. I'm thinking I'm ahead. So I'm sorry.
We are too.
but
We are too.
But I want to ask you, as a all, I want like to ask you, what can we expect from the show, as far as twists and turns from the audience? So, like, I know there's twists and turns from the show, but I want to ask you, as far as the audience perspective, what are you wanting them to learn about the show?
Not everybody at once. I think as an for someone that's going to be watching the show with fresh eyes, one thing that they're going to learn is that Black people are able to be in these spaces and be in these
Hmm.
roles, such as like a sleuth or detective or mystery or true crime type of genre. Not even as actors, but we can put ourselves in those situations,
Hmm.
and usually we find ourselves yelling at the TV anyway when we like, don't do that. So I think that with Black people seeing themselves in a different light, but also in specifics to Detroit, I think
Hmm.
that we are so stunted and limited by America and the world. So I think that once this show comes out and they begin to see themselves in the show,
Hmm.
they're definitely going to go for those twists and turns. I had a hard time, like when we would watch the pilot and we had to watch a couple of the episodes for work. We were
Hmm.
like, "Oh my God, I'm trying so hard not to keep going because it's just so good." We're watching as an audience member, so we're
Right.
kept on our toes and the edge of our seats as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Claude. I think that each character, everybody could see themselves in each character. Everybody knows a Moni. That's straight up D-Town. Everybody knows a Mr. T. Everybody knows a Aja. Everybody knows a Diarra, even though
Hmm.
she is kind of quirky in her own little right. But everybody sees themselves in each one of these characters, a Chris or a Danger. So I think that's what I want the audience to kind of take from that. And I want them to just enjoy themselves and have fun. It's a fun show. It's real life. It got mystery in it, but then it got comedy, so it can make you get at the edge of your seat or to make you kind of laugh. It's going to be really, really fun. I expect it to be like a watch party show. I've been saying that.
Mm.
It's definitely like
Hmm.
watch party worthy, debate worthy. It's going to be good.
That's the thing.
Everybody and
Yes.
everybody looks good too.
Fact. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. I feel like we haven't had a show on television that brought Black people together to
Mhm.
talk about what they just watched. I mean,
Mhm.
we saw shows in the past from Atlanta to Insecure, where it's like every week it was like, yo, did you see that episode? Okay, what do you think about this person? What do you think about that person? What do you
Mhm.
think about what just happened? I feel like this is the kind of show that's going to bring community together for conversation. I can't wait to hear what y'all think of every single
Yes.
episode.
Yes. And I want to ask you, Brian. I know that as a member of the LGBT community, what message you want to get across with being yourself and playing yourself as a role with this show?
The biggest message I think that's important right now is that Black people actually rock with the
Mhm.
LGBTQ community. I think
Mhm.
we highlight so often our differences, and we highlight so often how separate we are. But one thing I
Mhm.
think that's beautiful about this show is you're going to see every single character, from the straight dude who is a thug and a gangster all the way down to his homegirls, that everybody actually can coexist in the same space,
Mhm.
and we all exist in the same community. I think what's important is to not see ourselves so marginalized. And one of
Mhm.
the things I think that's so important about the characters and the development of the characters in the show is not one of us, including Mr. T, is a stereotype. So when you look at Mr. T, you see the nuances. You're like, that's my cousin. Oh, that's my brother. Oh,
Yeah.
that's my best friend at work. And I love that. I feel like this character is going to bridge that gap that
Mhm.
sometimes I think when it comes to LGBTQ representation on television, there's such large stereotypes. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times in our community, we're like, I ain't got no problem with gay people. I just don't that's just a lot. And I don't know what that is. And I
Right.
understand that. And I think that representation is just as important as seeing the kind of representation that I feel like we see every day. I don't see me's on TV.
Mhm.
Right.
So I'm excited to see like that dude that lived right across the street. Like that's who Mr. T is. So I'm excited to kind of like hear what our community has to say about this
Mhm.
version of representation from the queer community in television. I think Diarra did a really, really good job of not making him a stereotype, and I love that.
I agree.
Yes.
Agree.
And with Dominique, I want to piggy off with you. I know you, everybody knows you from Insecure and many other roles in the industry as far as the movies and series and shows. I want to ask you, what made you choose this role in this series, in this show?
This role chose me actually.
Mhm.
God gave me this role. I have so many similarities with this role, and Diarra saw that in me. Diarra and the team saw that in me with Aja. And the fact that I get to create her, because she kind of started out as just kind of like a blank canvas. There was something there, but she was kind of a blank canvas. It's like she's the best friend, but what are the layers added to her? And I
Right.
do kind of like the fact that I get to create her, and kind of make her mine.
Hmm.
And she kind of reminds me of somebody like a close friend of mine that is from Dallas, and she owns her own hair salon, but she
Hmm.
is about that life too. And she
Right.
is D-Town Dallas as well. So I just was like, oh, okay, I know somebody like this. This is awesome. This is fun. So, and I have a lot of similarities with Aja as well. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh, this role chose me. It was just an automatic thing.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can want to say congrats to all of you guys. And two more questions, Claudia. I know that you're playing a close neighbor and friend to Dee, and I want to ask you, what can you say about this role or lessons that you learned when playing this role?
Hmm. That's a great question. Well, I think what's so great about this project is that all of our characters are so similar to the people playing them. Like we
Mm-hmm.
see a bit of ourselves in in our characters. So when we say like, I love that Dom said that the role chose me because honestly, this role is might as well just be Claudia because Moni is um, and I think what's going to make this relationship between Diarra and I so interesting is because we're complete polar opposites. A thing that's so beautiful about Detroit is that it's so vast and so culturally like diverse that there are going to be different people who are all just still from the same city. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that we are each other's neighbors and our relationship is pretty you'll find out later in the show that it has a lot of layers to it. So when
Mm-hmm.
we are coming back together being these women who have their own lives and then trying to reconnect, it's something that's going to be very relatable but as well very refreshing and something that you don't see on TV. Brian made such a
Mm-hmm.
good point, like his role, definitely people like him, definitely is not seen on television. I don't think any of these roles that we play are seen that often on television.
No.
Right.
There's a lot of representation, but I think something about DFD is going to be something so new and so fresh from a different lens. And
Mm-hmm.
I love my role. I be cutting up.
You
Stuff.
cut up, man.
I be cutting up. Half of the stuff is like not even on the script. They just let me fly. So I'm grateful
Yeah,
for that.
it's I think that the characters are aligned. Like there's a lot of similarities in Mr. T,
Mm-hmm.
with Ryan. There's a lot of similarities, like Claude just said, with Moni and Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody was chosen or handpicked by God to be a part of this cast. It's a
Mm-hmm.
weird situation if you're spiritual or not, but I just feel it. Like everybody sees it. It just was aligned. It just was aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Like,
much
And
so.
my last question is, what's the one most cherishable moment that came from you filming, or you want have the audience to take away, or just by, you learned from yourself by playing this role, even though it's aligned with yourself? What's that one memory or moment that you want to tell to the world?
For me, and I'll just dive right in. It is the beauty, the intellect, the talent, the heart of Black women.
Mm-hmm.
The Black women on this show are some of the most beautiful, warm energies I've ever worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being in a cast that is led by um, grounded, heart first, spirit first Black women is a
Mm-hmm.
gift. And every Black man who gets to work with these Black women will be blessed. I think that is a gift that you're going to see in their chemistry on screen. You'll see it in their talent and their passion on the screen. And I am so thankful and I'm so blessed to work beside these Black women.
absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Yes. Yes.
I think for me, the memories that I have is just being a part of a cast that's so God-fearing. The fact that we pray together, like Claudia and Brian, we have like prayed together. We talk. I can come to them for like good profound like moments, you know, and advice. I get advice from these guys, they get advice from me, vice versa. It's just the love that we have for one another. Of course, it's like family, so to be tit for tat, but it's not really that. I think that it's just
Mhm.
a lot of love that we have for one another. A lot of the improv that we can do, we can play off of one another because like I said, I feel like we were aligned to be together and be
Mhm.
a part of this show that I will feel like will have longevity. Amen. We're gonna manifest that in the name of Jesus.
Yep.
So
And Will.
yeah, yes, amen. To me, I just, yeah, so it's just the family vibe that I get from everybody and the love.
Mhm.
Mm.
I think for me, there's so many big moments and big experiences that happen throughout the whole process. I'm ready to go back to work again, like just so we
Me
can have
too,
that.
I said that.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
Ready.
But I think one of the biggest things that popped out is that one of the biggest things is that I'm gonna like piggyback on what Dom said, is that God is just so present. I think that the reason why we all came together and that we were able to all get these jobs and come into each other's lives in a real way, I think that it's such a blessing, and it doesn't happen all the time, to be joyous coming into work. And it was
Mhm.
like that for the whole time we were filming. And I honestly could not thank God enough. To this day, I want to remain present. So I never
Mhm.
forget why we're here, how we got here. And
Right.
because we're going to get to bigger places, and this show will get to bigger places, to recognize and remember the foundation of it all. I am so extremely blessed. And I think that without any of these experiences, I got to take it back to, it wouldn't be without God.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful. So what I want to have the people see is that the dreams are possible, is that
Mhm.
you can really like manifest and really dream the biggest dream that you ever had. Because I'm from Detroit, I'm from the West Side, and we're over here going on a world tour to promote Diarra from Detroit. So anything can truly happen when you see yourself on a screen, when you see somebody's story on a screen, when you recognize, oh, I know this woman. Yeah, she's able to do this in this role. Yeah, she's able to, you know what I'm saying? So God, and God.
God.
Yes.
We also got a line dance too. What cast got line dances?
No,
Yes.
I ain't ever heard that ever.
We have a
So
lot of
God,
fun
but
with it.
we gotta refresh it. We forgot it though.
We forgot. It's been a while. I'm just saying, like, we were just clowning on set, but yeah.
People are gonna love this show because, as you can already feel, I've been watching your face, and I just watch you like start to light up as we talk. And it's one of those things where it's like, have you ever seen a show and you're like, "Ooh, I wish I was friends with them."
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's that kind of
Yes.
show.
It's that show.
Absolutely.
Like when you
Because
watch the show.
I remember you, Brian, and Dominique when you was in Atlanta, and I remember talking to you, Dominique. I don't know if you remember me, but I do remember you, Brian, because it was just the face and everything.
Right.
Dominique,
Got good
I remember
face. The
you.
face card
Like, I
never
don't know if you
declined.
remember Sessions with Jazz. That was me. So that's why.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's
that
good
was
to see
me.
you again.
Yes,
Thank
it
you
was
for doing
nice
this with
seeing you
us.
guys. But I know it's 2 minutes. They told me the 2 minute mark, but I want to say thank you guys again for allowing me to interview you guys. And I want to say congratulations. And I hope you have a great day.
Thank
Okay.
you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
God
you
Jasmine.
You're
bless
so
you.
much for
Have
your
a
welcome.
great
time, Desmond.
day.